All right, now we're recording. Hi, this is Suzanne Clegg of spiritgate.com, and I'm super excited to be here with Ewa. She was my patient over a year ago, and she had cancer, and then after just a few treatments, she got a completely clean PET scan, and all the doctors were super excited about, they were like amazed. And now it's been over a year. She's still cancer-free, having and I just wanted to talk with you, Ewa, about your story, about why you, how you think you got better. So welcome.
Thank you so much. So my name is Ewa Zmyslona, and I know it's long and complicated. I'm Polish, living at the moment in Brussels, Belgium. And yeah, I'm actually very, very happy to have that talk with you today, Suzanne, because someone who went through a very difficult journey of healing from cancer, which had a very dramatic turn. I'm really passionate about sharing my story and be a kind of someone who gives example or encouragement to other people who are on the same difficult journey as me.
All right. So how did you, sometimes people, they meet me, they learn all about me, they read my website, and they don't call me. Mm-hmm. But you did. And did something inside you say, yes, I need to do this? Because, with all due respect, maybe that didn't happen to those people. Maybe it wouldn't have worked for them. It did work for you. So what did you listen to that allowed you to
I think it was quite a few things, but first of all, it was my mindset. So in the time that I contact you, I was on very, very bad position. So what happened was that I was having a meeting with my oncologist, and it was exactly November the 5th. And that meeting was just we should talk about how my treatment went. I had already been through chemotherapy and through 2 operations. So I was very optimistic to see just the results of this treatment. But unfortunately, the results were very bad. I learned that the cancer spread to my lungs, and I was not expecting that at all.
What kind of cancer did you have? You had cervical?
Yes. So I had 2 different cancers. So one, I had ovarian cancer, and the second, I had endometrium cancer. So yeah. And yes, so when I heard that news, first it was a huge shock. And then I had
daughter and everything, right? You're young. You have a family and...
Yes, I have 2 wonderful kids, Zoe and Philip.
Oh, you have 2 kids. All right, yeah.
Yes, and yeah, and the whole journey, I was really a huge believer that everything will be okay. I'm a life coach, so I was open to different possibilities. And that's, I think, is important to say about this mindset. I had that belief that there is something more than my body. I had that belief that, and I have it, that we have the possibility to heal. I have also experienced that on small levels in my life, not at such a huge level as cancer. So first of all, I would have to say, in order to answer your question, that I was open. I was really open to for life to brought me somebody like you to help me with my situation. And that I think
I forgot to say that we did this over distance healing. I was in New York and you were in Belgium.
Yes.
Right? So distance, forget that somebody watching this might not know that. So we got to say that.
Yes. Yes. That's one. So I was open, but then I was also laughing that, I'm computer science by background. And when you do coding, one of the things you have to be very focused is on testing. And I was results oriented. So I was always have that approach that if something doesn't work, it's not the end. You just have to keep trying. And at the same time, giving your best. So when I had treatment with you, and you introduced me to the Bankstone method and how you work, I was all in. And I think it's important to say, I didn't know, oh, whatever, you know, maybe.
When you said that just then, I just like, yeah, I remember you were all in. Like, I don't think I've met anybody who's more in than you. And it wasn't that you were white. I met a lot of people that have come to me like, save my life, heal me. And they're all in that way, but it had such, they were just believing in me. They weren't believing in a wider picture. It was almost like a computer programmer believing that this code would work. Well, no, you just got to try the code. You believe that there's a code that will work, but not maybe this particular code. So I've had a lot of people that were sort of like white knuckle believing that I was the answer, but that actually got in the way of actually finding the answer for them. And I didn't see that you had that. You were just all in saying, I want to work this. I want to work this. And like,
yes, it's true. Even I'm smiling because, as you know, I'm writing a book to explain my philosophy and the healing journey. And the title is I Am Invincible, How Cancer Activated My 8 Superpowers.
Uh-huh.
So
ooh, all 8 of them. Woo.
So that's why I say about it that mindset is for me was the answer and my journey. And I'm not saying that all it's just belief or just mindset. No, it's about being open and believing that it's possible. And this is also something that I really, I'm a big fan of, reading stories of people who did it, who heal themselves through different things, because sometimes meditation works. You know, there are different stories. But I think that when you do it, you start to believe. That's why I'm also really happy today for our conversation. I hope that there will be someone who will open a little bit their mindset and says, okay, maybe if I will contact Suzanne and I will learn a little bit more about the method, I will also heal myself. And what I remember also that the big shift for me was, because when I contact you, I was in fear, frankly, you know, about on my life. I was in this situation that doctors didn't have a clear answer for me.
Can I interject something there?
Yes.
What's super important for people, I think, to know is that it's okay to be in fear. You were terrified, but that doesn't mean you're all in. It's okay. I mean, it's natural to be afraid if you've got a life-threatening situation. Like, you don't want to pretend like you're not afraid. That actually blinds you to the truth, I think.
Yes, and what happened when you asked me to prepare my 7 dreams? It was like, what? That's why the whole method that you work with, I really
describe for the video what I had you do. I had you think of 7 things that you want that you don't have.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like 7 dreams of mine, and I really also enjoy really very much you know, you specifically say that it cannot be dreams about the world, like peace in the world or this big idea. No, it has to be something specific for me. I'm actually laughing because now I just remind myself that one of the dreams that I had was, of course, to be healthy, but the other was about buying a red Mercedes, and I just bought
a red car. Oh, you just got one, yeah. Not just any red car. Okay, cool.
So that helped me really a lot to focus on life, to focus on my big dreams. And what was also advantages for me, I am a neuro-linguistic programming trainer, NLP trainer. So it was quite easy for me, NLP, yeah. So quite easy for me to imagine everything, because I think that that's also the secret to do correctly all this cycle. And I said, I put everything in. So I was drawing my dreams. I put them on the floor. I was walking on the floor to each, you know, dream. and I was closing my eyes and I was really living that dream. And then I was collecting all together to get the cycle. And you remember, I was able to quite fast get into that process that you are working with.
Yeah, I have usually people start with 7 just so they don't get intimidated, because I really want them to have 20 or 30. But we just got to start with like 7. And you had it done, like, oh, okay, done. Yeah. And you really worked it. You really, sometimes fear keeps my patients from actually working what they want to do. And so that's where I come in. I kind of hold their hand so they'll do it, because you have to do it.
Yes, yes. Yeah. I think it's important to give a try, really, that don't, because I think it's just maybe our subconscious mind or some old beliefs that stop us, you know, from going really into the method and thinking about the dreams. And I know it's not easy, because I was really in the moment. For me, it was happening so fast. Of course it was not easy, but I just decided that yes, I will do it. I will give my all, and I gave the outcome to God, you know, and depending on your beliefs, you have to figure out how you let go thing. But that I remember, you know, I was listening so many times to the speeches or lecture, people who would say, and then you let go, and I said, but how you let go? But somehow
so how did you let go? Because that is so critical.
So how I let go,
that's fundamental to healing.
Yes, I think that first thing, you know, was of me letting go was when I left the office of the doctor. When I learned the news, I was totally in shock. And I remember my husband wanted to hug me, and I said, I cannot hug now, because I know that I will break into tears, and I need my force, my power to focus what to do. And I wanted to be alone. And I just prayed to God. Like I said, okay, I had really wonderful life. I had great kids. And if it's my time, if you want me to go, I go. And I had a peace with that. I was not afraid of dying. But if I could stay, I would love to stay. Yeah. And I think that
you were all holding yourself together. That doesn't sound like you're surrendering, but that was your way of surrendering. You said you were steeling yourself against. You wouldn't.
No.
How you surrendered.
The part where I surrendered was that prayer. You know, when I was alone. And I said that, you know, if it's my time, I go. But if it's not, if I can stay, I would love to stay. But I was not in fear of dying at that moment. You know, I was of course in fear, but not you know, thinking about that something terrible happened after I died. Just, you know, I wouldn't like to leave my kids here. You know, so.
I think that's important, because what I teach is with the Bankston method is that you get very, very, very attached. You understand what your attachments are. Yes, I want a red car. I'd like to drive around in it. I want health. I want whatever it is you desire. And this desire is a fundamental life force that gets activated. And I feel like the healing comes from the future. So it's like an address that brings the future to you. But then in every major philosophy, there's something about surrender and letting go. And I feel like when you memorize these things, these images of what you want, and then you spin them, that is an act of surrender. And basically you're standing in two worlds. It's actually it's a trick. It's a technology that allows you to be in the present moment while you know that those things that you desire are somehow being handled, and yet you're in the present. Did anything like that happen for you? You got better so fast. Like you didn't even have a chance to learn the whole thing, I think.
Yes, it's true. You know, I trust the process. I trusted you. So I didn't have even, you know, time to learn the method so much or the background, because there's a lot very useful information. So I was just going step by step, and for me it was the most important to cycle the images that I had memorized. and I must admit that it came quickly, very quickly for me. So I was really lucky with that. Also, I feel that it was not really a problem. And yes, this focus on your dreams, but I also understand totally what are you talking about when you said that when you cycle these images, you don't connect to the lack of your dream, because I think, I don't know if you follow 𝗹𝗲𝗶𝗆𝗆, but she is talking about that a lot, that, you know, you have something that you want and then opposite. So health and lack of health. But when you do the method that you use, you cycle so fast that you don't have time to activate it, the opposite thing. So that's why I really believe that it's brilliant, the method.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Yeah, good. All right, so if you were to say anything about because I tell people, like, listen to YouTubes, like, what about people who have survived cancer, like the spontaneous remission. Oh, what did the doctors say? Like, what was that like? Describe that to me, because I remember we came back and I was like, oh, it feels very different. Like, I really didn't expect you to be all better by then. And it's like, it feels like cancer's like a little bit away from your body, not here in your body. And you're like giggling. You're like, what? Because I said, let's start the healing and then we can talk, because I wanted to make sure that we got a lot of healing time in. And you were just like, bursting with like, but I got a clean PET scan, or whatever scan you got. So describe what that was like to get the good news.
So it was pretty amazing, of course, because it was actually, I think, 1 week after this very bad news that I got, that my cancer spread to lungs, and I knew that the operation will not happen because there are too many things and so on. So this meeting was about how to plan what we can do next. But for me, I had the feeling that we are not talking about how to heal, we are talking about how to prolong my life, basically. And I remember, because, you know, I'm a project manager, I just dressed myself like I will go for work. I just took some papers to have a new plan. I opened the door and I saw the doctor, and he asked me to sit, and he said that he had to tell me something. And my first thought was, what else, you know, how bad can it be? Because what happened between the meetings is that I had PET scan. Before I had CT scan, and that one time I had PET scan, in order to know if there is anything else in my body and how bad it was. And he told me that, yeah, listen, before we continue our conversation, I have something to tell you. And he said that the PET scan came without any cancer cell. You know, there was no cancer cell in the PET scan. So yeah, I was so happy that, to be honest, I don't really remember how here.
Did he have an explanation for it?
No, he did not have any explanation. He was very happy for me. And it was this I'm talking about my oncologist, but I also saw other doctors because of my philosophy of healing. I also had someone who was more holistically assessing my nutrition and other things. And for her, she told me that it's amazing. She wanted to know what I have done.
Did you feel something shifting inside you? Because I felt something shifting inside you, but did you? Because sometimes it's subtle and you don't necessarily feel it, but did you say, oh my gosh, things are like moving inside? Like, did you have, or maybe you were so scared that you were kind of not in your body?
I think I was not so aware, because, to be honest, my story of cancer journey was very crazy. I mean, each time I had a meeting with the doctor was very bad news, and each time I was expecting the best news. I was expecting to be healthy. I didn't, like, if I don't know if you want me to tell the story, but each time when I saw my doctor, I expected him to say, no, you are fine, everything is good. So I had each time that mindset. And yeah.
Did you feel like your mindset, this was like an awareness, or was your ego saying, I'm going to get better? Or did you like, I actually think I'm going to get better? And I'm always surprised when they say I'm not. like, because there's a difference between an awareness and a belief that you put onto the world. Kind of like the computer programming, like there's an awareness, there's got to be a way for this to work. And I think that I can do this versus I want to make this code work. You know?
Yeah. No, I would say totally that it was, I didn't feel that I'm imposing something, that it's my ego. I think it was more about believing, and as I said, that there is something more than my body, that I am someone more than my body, and this is my belief that I am a spirit, and such a person, such I have unlimited resources. And for me, the journey was about listening to the guidance. It was not easy because, as I said, it was about testing and seeing the results. So it's about trusting that, you know, I even if there is no outside proof that actually I'm fine, not giving up, and just trying one more thing, trusting, and letting go.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you. I think this is a great inspiration, hopefully, for people to just see you, that you're living proof that spontaneous remission, not so spontaneous remissions actually happen. There is more to life than meets the eye, and
exactly.
That we can tap into that. There is guidance for that. Most of my clients, people either call me and they just don't get a good feeling, and I actually respect that. I might not have been their healer. You know, it's not like, oh, if they'd only done me, I could have saved their life. I don't know that. With you, it just felt like, boy, something's for me too, it felt like it was very important for me to work with you. And you felt like it was very important for you to work with me. And we were both smart enough to not override that with like, oh, it might be something, you know, that's just wishful thinking or something. Like there's a deeper level of awareness that we all have. You know, you know, when people, I mean, you just, we have that awareness.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have.
Any final words that you want to say? Oh, I want to say something. I want to leave on your note. So if somebody's interested in working with me, you go to my website, spiritgate.com, and I have a cancer frequently asked questions thing there, and that will get you started. All right, spiritgate.com, cancer frequently asked questions. All right. And then, okay, so what final thing would you like to, so somebody here they've got cancer, their relative has cancer, maybe their pet has cancer, somebody has cancer, they're scared, they're looking for alternatives. They love doctors, they don't hate doctors, but the doctors just don't have a lot to offer them. They don't want to not do doctors, but you know, what do you do? And what would you tell them?
You know, two things. So first, of course, I would recommend that they contact you, because I know that you have this free session that they can just set up the meeting and have their question answers, because of course they have a lot of questions, and I think that it is just silly not to take the opportunity to find out more and to see if you resonate with something or not. I think that's, and of course, reading through all the facts, because this is what I did also. I was reading on your website to know about you more. That's very useful. So first of all, I would definitely recommend your website.
And YouTube channel too. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
In the last year, I've been doing videos. Yeah.
Perfect session. And the second thing, I was called to do, to start sharing my message, and I wrote a book, and now I put that book on the website, and I would like to offer 2 first chapters of the book for free. And the website is globalcancersolutions.com, and
we'll put that link somewhere below.
Yes, thank you. And just read the story, because I think that that's the powerful message, where you can actually meet and see somebody who went through that journey and succeed, and above all, feel the love because that was something that maybe we did not talk a lot, but healing, health and healing is much about recognizing your powers, but also to feel the love. As maybe it's also important to say that when I was working with you, I was feeling love, you know. We just met, but it's your, I guess, kind of how you work. You are not that cold person who just like it's yeah, exactly. It's important that you are someone with open heart, and when you are on your healing cancer journey, you really need this kind of people who love you through the process.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you, and yeah, maybe we'll talk again as you do, and good luck with your book as you help people. And
thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. All right, I am going to